Hi, welcome to Functional Fridays. I'm Dr. Sherry Jacobs, naturopathic doctor, certified nutrition specialist. I'm with Shannon Kennedy, internal medicine doctor.
Hi.
Talking about sleep.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
which I don't think anybody's been getting much of
Not this
recently.
week.
I know you and I have been texting weird hours. And so there's two different phases of sleep. So there's people that have trouble falling asleep, sleep onset, and there's people that wake up in the middle of the night. Both are equally frustrating. Some people do both. But kind of focusing here today maybe on getting to sleep and some of the things we can do to ensure a good night's sleep. And I think starting off is thinking about what you're doing in the morning. So we don't think about when we wake up in the morning, how we're going to sleep that night, what we do in the morning, how it might affect our sleep that night. But our bodies are set on a circadian rhythm. And one of the things the body really likes is to have sunshine in the morning. So you're starting your day off making good cortisol. You're setting up your melatonin for the evening by how much light exposure you get in the morning. So an ideal scenario, within an hour or two of waking, you would get some sunlight, get some direct sunlight. The body likes that. It likes waking up at a certain time. It likes getting sun exposure early in the morning.
For people who work in an office and travel out before the sun comes up and are inside all day, they get the same effect from having little light blocks or something that they put on early in the day. Or maybe that's just at their desk. They're not very expensive, and it's kind of like having an LED light just kind of shining indirectly towards your face, not directly into your eyes. In the morning hours.
That's a great point too, especially, we're here in South Carolina and nobody thinks about getting a light box because we've got sun all the time and warmth all the time. But if you're not actually getting out and enjoying that sun and that warmth, then you need something like a light box and it can be really helpful.
Yeah.
Coffee drinker? Yeah. So coffee in the morning, a lot of people say, well, I have my 1 cup of coffee in the morning, so it shouldn't be affecting sleep. And that's probably true for most people. It's when we're having like 4 and 5 cups and having in the afternoon that it really affects sleep. But there are some people genetically that are slow caffeine metabolizers, very slow. And that 1-2 cups of coffee in the morning can affect how you sleep at night that many hours later. So it's something to think about.
Definitely. Getting out and moving and the time of day that you're exercising. I mean, it's really important to exercise every day for so many reasons, but for people who have trouble sleeping at night, it's probably even more important to get out and make sure they're getting exercise during the day.
Yeah, and usually I think the earlier the better. Everybody's a little bit different, but oftentimes if we work out too late in the afternoon, it can be a little too stimulating and be harder to calm down.
Right. And even just getting out for a walk after your meals and stuff like that, but getting exercise earlier in the day, it's a good idea.
Part of that circadian rhythm. We're hunter-gatherers, and so the sunshine wakes us up and it says, all right, time to go out and hunt for your food. And so that's the movement, even though we're not probably hunting for food, most of us, but we need to get out and mimic that. We need to move and pretend like we're still in that hunter-gatherer phase if we want to enjoy a good, solid sleep at night.
Right. So when you've done all those things during the day, and then as your cortisol winds down towards the end of the day, most of us then turn on our computers or TVs at home, and the light hits the back of our eyes again, and it changes. It knocks us out of that healthy circadian rhythm. So then the body, as it's trying to do, get yourself ready for bed, it's kind of pulled out of that and reset, and inappropriately. We tend to live in that pattern. So definitely light exposure at night. We want less of it. There's some things you can put on your computer screens or your phone screens to make the blue light. I guess it makes the blue light go away. It filters out the blue light. And they're usually free apps that you can just download on your phone and your computer. There's glasses you can wear that
Pretty stylish ones these days too.
Yeah. Or you could turn your computers and phones off if you can.
And read a book.
Read a book.
I'm not doing that these days.
I would recommend AP Human Geography to put you right to sleep. So, I'm doing that with one of my kids.
And to be super annoying about the light component, because we're just all exposed to light in all these different forms and fashions. But there are some genes we look at where there's one gene that's aptly named the clock gene, and it's because you stick a group of people in a room, and the ones that have this gene, SNP, or slower down gene, if you put just one little laser light of light across the room, and it's a dark room, that little tiny bit of light for certain people is enough to change their melatonin and their cortisol. I mean, we're talking about a tiny bit of light, and if that's so it's something as simple as having, you know, something plugged in your room, or that alarm clock, or it could be enough for those people that are more genetically sensitive to change your melatonin and cortisol. And you might not really think of it. You might be just thinking about this direct light from a computer, but it can be much more subtle than that.
Right. I'm pretty sure I have that chain because my computer's plugged in even across the room, and there's that little flashy light on the side, and it's facing away from me. I'm aware of it, and I'll get up and unplug it. Oddly enough, the last time we got new smoke detectors, the smoke detector had like this flashing blue light to say like it was working and it was good. And I'm like, we live like this under this flashing blue light all the time. So it really affected my sleep. I was like, I have to get a different smoke detector in the bedroom at least. So yeah, we've got to look for those things.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of little things you can do, and then there's a lot of bigger things that you can do. And you know, supplements you can take. People always ask about what can I take supplementally for sleep, and you know, things like melatonin and CBD and theanine. I mean, there's just a host of things. Unfortunately, it really is figuring out what is the right combination for you, because everybody's a little bit different in what they find works. There's not like one. I mean, some people, melatonin works great. You do probably don't want to be on melatonin long term, or you want to think about, you know,
I
the
cycle off
hormones.
of it throughout the on and off it throughout the year.
You do, and you know, if why is your body not making the melatonin?
It's what you're doing during the day. So yeah, if you're doing everything wrong during the day to prepare for sleep, there's really not going to be a supplement that's just going to knock you out. There are pills that will do that, prescriptions, but those are not a healthy way to get. You don't get restorative sleep when you take sleep medication, whereas with supplements you can, you know, ease your body into sleep and have restorative natural sleep, which is most important. So, but yeah, melatonin for some people, L-theanine is a really safe one. And then, you know, I find melatonin helps people fall asleep, but not necessarily stay asleep. So there's the slow release forms as well that for some people work.
It does require some experimentation, and always, you know, we always like to ask the question why. If you're not sleeping well, why? What are your hormones doing? What's the rest of your day like? What's your cortisol doing? It's always asking that question why. So, hope we get some good sleep soon.
Get some good sleep after today.